Hello, it's Dolly. Welcome to my channel, Scrapping on the Go. This process video is for Let's Get Messy Wednesday with Tisa, Amy, and myself. And I am using our thumbnail as my inspiration for this week's or this month's Let's Get Messy project. So we post on the first Wednesday of every month. So I have a photograph here of a sunflower. I have a couple stencils, and then I have Tim Holtz Distressed Paints, and I have a number 2 acrylic brush, and it's kind of an oval shape, as you can tell. All right, I've got a 12 by 12 mixed media background paper. I'm using clear gesso, and it's not necessary to use gesso on mixed media paper unless you want your product to sit on top of the paper. And I do for this project because it allows me to play with the acrylic paint, and I can make it as thick, as bright, or as muted by removing it. If I didn't add that gesso, I wouldn't have that flexibility unless I work really, really quick. All right, one way that you can apply your paint or acrylic paint to your paper is to use a paintbrush. And so that's what I'm showing you here. And this is an acrylic paintbrush, and it's a number 2. And then I'm using my squirt bottle to move the paint around. Now, like I just said, I got really heavy-handed here when I first applied the paint, and I'm like, no, that's too much. And instead of just keep squirting and squirting and squirting, I can take this paper towel. This is not a baby wipe, a paper towel. Seeing how it just comes off. Now I thought, oh, I removed a little bit too much, and then I'm going to add a little bit more water, and then I'm just going to move that around some more. And then I'm going to let it dry, and then I will get out some more of the paint. And that color there is the cracked pistachio. All right, so I let that dry for about 15 minutes while I went and cleaned up my mess, and then I'm getting out spiced marmalade for my next color. And you can see now this one, instead of taking my paintbrush and applying the paint, I'm just taking it directly out of the bottle, and I created a line. Again, it's going to look really, really bright, and I put too much, but that's okay. I've got a lot of paint. It's not going to waste. And I'm just letting it move, and I do use my brush to help move it along. And so you're just going to watch me keep doing that. And then I'm going to edit out me doing 2 of the other colors, but you'll see here in a minute. So see how bright that is? And I'm just taking and dabbing, 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 and dabbing, dabbing, dabbing until I get the look and the consistency that I want. And then also it's even going to keep drying because I let this project dry overnight once I was finished. All right, so there I did the yellow, which is mustard seed. And then that pinkish red is festive berries. My last color that I'm using is broken china. Now you noticed I just did little dots, and I used my squirt bottle to move the paint along with using my paintbrush. So as you can tell, you can pour the paint on and just use only your squirt bottle, or you can pour the paint on, use your squirt bottle and a paintbrush. It really doesn't matter how you want to apply it. You can remove the excess paint either with a paper towel or a baby wipe. All right, after I complete this and it dries, I cut it down to a 10 by 10. And then I select 3 pattern papers from my stash of different designers and collections. The blue one I leave 12 by 12. The yellow one I cut 11 by 3/4. And then the red one I cut 10 1/4. And I matted all of that. My photograph is matted on white cardstock, then black cardstock. I have those gear stencils out. And I'm going to get out my Tim Holtz Distress ink pad, and I use orange marmalade well, I thought I was going to use more orange marbled, and then I decided to go with the mustard seed. And I'm using my Tim Holtz dabber, and I'm just randomly going around, and I'm kind of going on the outside again just to have that organic artsy type look. And then I'll take that stencil and I will ink through it a little bit in the upper right hand corner and the lower left hand corner to have that your eye draw diagonally across. Then I will bring in the stencil, which is of the camera, and I will use the Distressed Ink and Black Soot to ink through the camera. Now, while I'm just a little bit ahead of myself, I want to remind you that I will have Tisa and Amy's link to their channel so that you can go see what they created this Wednesday. Like I said, we post on the first Wednesday of the month, once a month, and we all pick our own creation. So we never know what each of us are creating, if we're using a sketch as an inspiration piece, a layout as an inspiration piece, a photograph of something else as an inspiration piece, or something we learned maybe possibly in a class. All right, so please be sure to go check them out. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Give a thumbs up, show us some love so it brings traffic to our channel so that we can be inspiring other people that you and I may not know, right? So anyway, off to embellishing my layout. I am lightly adding embellishments to this particular layout. That didn't make any sense. I'm not adding very many embellishment items to this layout. All right, so I'm starting in the upper left-hand corner. I have a tab. I have a vellum flower. I have the word hooray. I have a little sticker of like a fly. And I end up removing the word hooray completely off my page. I take that orange enamel dot, which is from Pink Fresh Studio, came out a couple of years, and I put it in the center of the camera. I add some enamel dots to the upper left. The word love you came, it's from a Maggie Home collection that came out a couple of years ago. And I thought it just worked perfect for this layout. And now let's go to the story behind the photograph. About 3 years ago, my little guy, for a science project, grew sunflowers. And now he's made it a tradition. So every year he grows sunflowers. So every year I take a photograph. And this third year, his sunflower turned out beautiful. So that's what I'm going to document. And I'm using a Sharpie pen to create my journaling lines, because it is a mixed media background. If I use any of my other pens, it ruins the tips of them. And then you also seen that I adhered the back of the photograph, which is matted, with wet adhesive because of the mixed media. All right, I appreciate you all. Get out your photographs, document those memories in a fun, creative way, and keep coming back, and we'll see you next time. Bye.